The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It's the final day of June, and Louis Riddick has got quite the take on the Jets' chances in 2025. We'll tell you what he said, talk about that, and much more. Plus, we got raffle winners to announce. And, oh, yeah, Robby Sabo is joining us in his weekly spot. It's the Jake Asman Show. Start of a new week. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go, here on a Monday. Welcome in, everybody. Before we get started, I want to give a huge shout-out to every Asmaniac that made it out to our first ever Asmaniac at the ballpark event. We were at the Yankees game yesterday. Yankees scored a bunch of runs. Judge hit 2 home runs, and it was an awesome, awesome time at the game. This isn't the full group. A bunch of people left because of how hot it was before all 9 innings were complete. But shout-out to everyone who made it out, anyone who came to Billy's beforehand. Thank you to Joey, the owner of Billy's, for hosting us in a private area before the game. It was an awesome, awesome time. So thanks again to everyone who made the trip. And, of course, we plan on doing more events, whether it's watch parties or training camp meetups throughout the summer. So stay tuned for more information on that. Let's say hello right now to a good friend of the show. He's doing me a solid and joining us a day earlier than normal. Ladies and gentlemen, the co-founder of JetsXFactor.com, Robby Sabo. Robby, happy Monday, man.
Say it's not Tuesday?
It is not. That's why you're on time.
Whoa. Well, yeah, little did you know I've been waiting 6 days. I was on time last Tuesday, and I'm still here. Who left early? Were there any diehard Yankee fans who left early? Because that's a high crime. I got to be honest.
Let me call up my brother and my uncle. They left. They left in the 7th inning, and we were in the shade. Now, look, it was still brutal, but thank God, the Yankees, when we put this together, they gave us 2 options, and thank God that I was able to, pick the one that got us in the shade behind the plate because that was critical.
That's a big time job right there. Underrated, underappreciated. Even if you do get shout outs, still underappreciated. Major difference. I know it's baseball, things are going to happen. The heat, people are going to leave early, 162 games, but still, this might need to be investigated. These are high crimes.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Robby Sabo is with us here. We got a lot to discuss. Quick programming note. I'm on ESPN radio tonight from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, so you can listen on the ESPN app. If you're in the New York area, it should be on 10:50 a.m., or you could just put on Sirius XM Channel 80, and because of that, I'm moving up the start time for our second show today. We'll be going live at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. I also intend to announce the winners of the ASMANIAC Raffle, Mr. Sabo, so you'll be on as we spin the wheel of champions 3 times to give away some items. Before we get into the Jets, I want to share some big news. We're not just giving away the 3 items for the weekly raffle. We're going to kick off a new week with a big daily show giveaway. Signed, Don Maynard. Photo at the end of the show. It comes with a certificate of authentication. So we're starting a new week with a bang. Jets Mount Rushmore. Don Maynard, number 13. We'll give away a signed photo of Mr. Maynard at the end of the program. With that said, I've talked enough, Robby. Before I play this clip of Louis Riddick, I want your general thoughts on where the Jets are at right now. We got a couple of weeks to go before training camp. As you sit back and you look ahead, what is the big thing that is catching your attention with the Jets right now?
We're in the dead period. One of What do you think, Jake? Two main dead periods of the NFL year, calendar year. You got after the Super Bowl until free agency, and then now. And this is a bigger one because everything's set. There's no rumors, there's no transactions, there's nothing happening. So to me, with this regime, with this organization, it stands out that this period, this time right now is more so critical for the Jets and for this specific Jets team as opposed to years past because of Aaron Glenn and who he is and him taking over and this being his first year. How much of his communication, of his design, his vision has hit home with the players? And if the answer is a positive one, then they're doing work right now and they're getting it done and they're getting better. If it's not sticking, then they're not. And I know nothing's happening, but, from a fan perspective and, NFL news perspective, but it's still critical. It's still very important. And that vision and that accountability and communication and transparency, it's not just for during practice and on the field during the games, what we see. It's for times like right now. And I'll be interested to see what they look like in late July once camp opens.
I think from a news standpoint, I think every Jet fan is hoping the only big news that happens from now until training camp starting is we hear about signed contract extensions with Sauce and Garrett, if not both of them, right? I think that'd be the one thing that we're all kind of keeping our eyes on. I know Michael Nani had a really good piece on JetX today about some insane Sauce numbers in his career and why he believes the Jets should pay him. So I think ultimately that to me is the one news story we're following to see if that's going to happen before camp.
Yeah, and that's all good stuff. I've said it on the show before. Fans don't like it. I don't put the contract extensions high on the priority list, but at the same time, I get it. I get how important it is. I get how it impacts the cap positively, and Sauce and Garrett are deserving. Sauce, especially more so, just because of how unique he is and what he can do at his position. He's proven it. I know a lot of fans are down on him. Joe B. The pain based on last year, his tackling woes, but you got to take the positive column and stack it against the negative column. And when you're looking at Sauce, a guy like Sauce, the positives outweigh the negatives by, an infinite number. It's absurd. So contract extensions, it's not high on my list, and I'm sure it's not high on Glenn's list, to be honest, but it's nothing negative there. It's all positive stuff.
Robby Sabo is our guest. Eli Betts with the first super chat of the new week. Thank you very much, Eli. Listening on my way to work. Happy Monday, AsManiacs. Keep up the amazing work. Best content out there. Eli, appreciate it. Congrats again on winning that Wayne Corbett jersey last week. I officially got it sent out to you on Saturday, so it should be there sometime later this week. Click the like button if you're just tuning in. AD83 is the first person to get in on the membership gifting this week. How about a 10 spot to get things rolling?
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Thank you very much to AD. He is in our raffle for 10. I also will announce the new weekly raffle prizes. I'll spoil the theme for those who are locked in live right now. Our theme this week for the weekly raffle prizes, Jets Mount Rushmore. So I'll leave it at that. We had the big Mount Rushmore debate last week, so we'll do a Jet Mount Rushmore themed weekly giveaway. And reminder, we're going to spin the wheel coming up for the weekly prizes, which this week, for those who don't remember, is a signed Glenn jersey, signed Fields jersey, and a signed Sauce jersey.
Yeah, and on that note, I published an article late last night, like 11:30 p.m., putting together a fan favorite Mount Rushmore. So maybe we'll kick that around later for a few minutes.
I like that. Definitely want to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, a holy crap moment has just occurred this early in the week. A 20 spot of channel memberships from Rick Kent. My goodness, what a country.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What a country. What a country.
Unbelievable. The home of the brave, baby. Hold on.
It's just, man.
All right. I can't hear you now, Robbie, but I'm going to do my best here. Still give you 20 names that Rick just gifted. Boomer Bag Bozo. Zach Asman, my brother, getting a membership from Rick. Gil, Travis, Priam, Idaho Jets, LD Caesar, Charlie Gatson, Quick Dolo, Dre Day, Josh Ellis, Stephen T, Aria Shiken, Z Breathe, Big Loyal, Iowa Jet fan, Shane Tuttle, Joe Rano, The Power, all receiving a membership there from Rick. There might have been more. It's not loading. These are the ones from AD who get the 10. Thank you again, AD. David A, Trilly Trill, Mr. Dan Glysack. That can't be a real name, is it? Rex Reeser, Bradley Levitt, who just had a kid. Congrats, Brad. NC Vince, Docus Vela, Living Like a Local, Ragnar Racing, all receiving a membership there from AD. So we got 30 gifted memberships, 11 minutes into the show. This community continues to be the absolute best. Thank you guys and everyone who continues to support us, especially during these slow times right now. That goes for everyone who reads Robbie's work and the team over at JetX. A lot to get into here with these comments from Louis Riddick. So I'm just going to play you. There's two of them. The first, I think you're the perfect guy to have on to speak to this, because Riddick points out the offense that he believes the New York Jets should be looking to emulate this year under first-year coach Aaron Glenn. Here's Riddick talking about the Jets offense in general during a recent NFL Live.
They got to own the line of scrimmage, Dan. I mean, that's what this offense has got to be. Look, when you have an offensive line that's got 3 former first-round picks on it, okay? And then a number 2 pick at center, a second-round pick, and Joe Tippmann at center. And they got Fashanu, and they got Armand Membu, Elijah Vera Tucker, John Simpson. I mean, they got studs up front. This football team has got to be better than like 31st in run block win rate, 31st in rush yards per game, like 24th in yards, average yards per carry, before first contact. Especially when you got Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, and now you've got Justin Fields. That has got to be their identity. This has got to be one of the best rushing teams in the NFL. This has got to be a team that kind of mirrors sort of how Baltimore tries to attack you. We can gash you with Derek, we can gash you with Lamar, and then we can throw the football down the field, and that's on Justin and Garrett Wilson and the rest of the crew. But they have to make huge strides. Otherwise, I mean, all those first-round picks on the offensive line, those big physical backs that they got in the backfield, what the hell did you draft them for? Obviously, you made some huge mistakes if you can't do that and make tremendous strides and be a top-half rushing team this year. And if they don't, they're going nowhere.
Love the passion from Louis there. Your thoughts on what he said about the Jets offense?
Yeah, duh. It's duh. No duh, as the 90s kids used to say. Top half. Forget top half. They can't be top half. That won't work. This offense, the way they're conceptualizing it, is not about top half rushing attack. It's about top 5. And people think that's too lofty a goal. You're wrong. It's absolutely doable. You project based on a curve, based on a scale, and their scale is beyond pushing the limit in terms of rushing the football. And not only that, there's this hidden yardage there. It's, I feel like we do ourselves an injustice these days in the NFL and football, the way the game's played in modern days. There needs to be 2 different rushing categories: designed rushes and scramble rushes. There has to be. They are so different in nature that to combine them together, it's just we're killing ourselves in terms of how we analyze things. But combining the 2, designed rushes and off-script scramble rushes, they're going to be top 5 in the NFL in rushing. That doesn't mean they're going to be automatically world beaters. Again, I keep saying it. The Bears were 2nd in rushing 2 years ago with Fields. I don't remember them hoisting the Lombardi. So, no, top half, forget about it. But he's spot on. Louis is spot on about their intentions, what they want to do. And the studs on the O-line, yeah, they're there. But there's pressure on them to perform. They need to. But you got to crawl before you walk, which means they need to have a plan first. They have not had a plan the last 2 years in terms of rushing design, who they are, what they want to do. When you're rushing the ball in football, no matter how much strategy is involved with the chess pieces, there comes a point in time where you just have to rely on your bread and butter. And that still holds true today. You know, the Eagles with the tush push, Baltimore with whatever zone read action they have going on, or an RPO, you know, Andrews to the flat, whatever they're doing. You still fall back on who you are. Who have the Jets been? Well, what did they fall back on? Nothing, because they had no plan. So before you even get to the studs, they have to have a plan, and that's what Engstrand and Hayden are trying to do.
The stat that he gave, and I think we've talked about it on the show before, but just hearing that, so much pain. 31st in rush yards win rate last year.
No, it was obscene.
And that, don't tell me, well, Rodgers checks out of plays, right? That's not a stat that has anything to do with the quarterback. That is, when you run the ball, how effective are you? They were 31st in the league at that. The whole premise was Rodgers would manage the game. They give him a rushing attack. It set up the play action, and then they would go from there. They never had that at all. And that's why those comments about the running game, people were like, is Rodgers taking a shot at Brees? No, man. He's talking about how bad the scheme was. And that's what Riddick is referring to, 100%.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with Rodgers, why they rushed poorly. If anything, he helped them, which is a scary thought. You know, again, it was a tale of two different offenses last year. And, you know, maybe the play calling change had something to do with it, sure. But it was more so what they morphed into based on the situation of the game. Go back to San Fran, rewatch that game, Tennessee. The first quarter of the season, the early games, they had a plan, they had a vision, but they had no idea how to execute it. So there was no rush concept plan within the overarching Saleh plan. They want to be a physical, run-first team. It ran the ball first, ran the ball in second, third and long, get yourself in a bad situation, hope the Hall of Famer bails you out. That was the plan in the first quarter of the season. And the defense was always one step ahead, and it's very difficult to win your blocks when that's the case. So, you know, and after that, by the way, the second half, when I said a tale of two different types of offenses, the second one was spread it out and start throwing the ball early, and then try to get the lead, and then run the ball when you have the lead, and that rarely happened.
Comments, questions, super chats, they'll cut the line. We got our raffle coming up, and for those tuning in late, we're going to give away a signed Don Maynard photo to kick off a week of daily raffles on the show. Listener appreciation. Shout out to all the diehard Jet fans who are watching the show on the last day of June. Also, happy birthday to my mom. Today's her birthday, so happy birthday, Mom, June 30th. And happy birthday to anyone out there who is also celebrating a June 30th birthday. Yesterday was Will Parkinson's birthday in the Jet content creator world, so happy birthday to Will. Didn't do a show yesterday, so couldn't say it on the air. Let's see. Here's the second clip from Riddick I want your thoughts on. Now, remember, Louis Riddick interviewed for the Jets GM job this offseason, so he's got intimate knowledge on the inner workings of the organization. And this was Riddick being asked about Garrett Wilson's role in the offense this year. And I found these comments to be particularly interesting.
When they do throw it, of course, RC, you mentioned that number one receiver is Garrett Wilson, who was Justin Fields' teammate at Ohio State. Lewis, how big a deal do you think that is, reuniting the quarterback and the wide receiver that played together in college?
Dan, it's huge. It's everything. Look, I can just tell you firsthand, having talked to this team in the offseason, obviously, that this was a major point of emphasis, was how can they get Garrett Wilson to feel good about being a New York Jet and how they can get him back to his potential, because obviously things didn't end well in New York last year as far as his chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. And one of the quickest ways you can get that done, and I had talked to them about this, is, hey, look, how about reuniting him with this guy? You know, how about getting Justin Fields in there and seeing if those two can kind of kind of recreate some of the magic that they had in college. I mean, that's just a natural connection. And Garrett, we know, look, Garrett is like a modern day Lynn Swann. That's what he is. This is a guy who plays above the rim like a ballerina. He's one of the most gifted wide receivers in the league. And so I think that connection right there, that's got to be priority number one in the passing game. And they've got to link up, man. They got to link up big time.
Interesting comments there from Riddick. Robbie, your thoughts?
Yeah, it definitely matters, you know, that chemistry, knowing where the guy's going to be. But there's constrictions. It's not as high ceiling anymore. It's going to be more one read stuff. It's going to be more designed Garrett open, but still it matters, them knowing each other. Yo Holmes is quite active in the chat. Let me teach this man a lesson real quick. Let me see what he say. Rodgers actually helped the run game last year, said no serious, legitimate, credible person ever. What a bad take. Yo, Holmes, before Rodgers, Jets had guys like Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold too. Just took the play and went up to the line of scrimmage and said hike. There were numerous examples last year where Rodgers flipped the play. I remember one against Tennessee where it was supposed to go left. He flipped it right, and Brees broke off for a big game. To say he helped it, even though they were bad, is 100% accurate. Don't be silly. At the line of scrimmage, seeing what the defense is, checking in or out, yes, he helped it, which is scary, and which goes to show you how bad the coaching was.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Yo Holmes off to a brilliant start in the chat. Michael says, good morning, fellow Asmaniacs. Let me shout out Michael. Michael came to our Yankees outing yesterday, and he presented me two of the coolest gifts I've ever received. You see this here? There's a display for it that I could put it on, but I'm just holding it up so people could see. So this looks good on a shelf, a man cave, but it lights up. It's an LED light. So how cool is that?
You could slap it on your dog if you're walking him at night.
That's true too.
Yeah.
And here's the other gift that Michael was nice enough to, and he made these himself, by the way. This is something that he's learned how to do. He was telling me in his retirement. This is also an Asmaniac LED light as well. So I got to find spots in my apartment here to highlight these, but very cool. Michael also gave me some custom coasters that had the Jake Asman Show logo on it and all the teams I root for. So such a cool gift. Thank you again, Michael. Got to meet Michael and his daughter Carly yesterday, who came to our event. So just a great time. And I want to definitely highlight Michael's awesome gifts on the show this morning.
Those world beater teams you root for. You have the Yankees. I'll say you. So you really only have one championship, right?
2009. That's why I hold it in such high regard.
That's it. Oh, you poor bastard. That's like,
I know.
That's like, listen, I'm no much better. I have the Rangers in '94. I was a young pup.
You have the Yankees, though. I
have the Yankees dynasty, and I was a diehard Yankees fan at the time. Now, not so much. So 2009 is like on the low rung for me, basically. But that's it. Jets and Knicks, nothing.
It's tough.
Yeah, the Yankees dynasty was a blessing. And it was unexpected too. Like in '95, listen, they were great. In '93, you saw it coming. '94, they were tremendous. The strike happened. And then '95, a little bit of a down year, but you saw it. The young kids were coming. They were coming, man. And Seattle, that Mattingly home run at Yankee Stadium. Ruben Sierra, then Mattingly with the Gary Thorne play-by-play.
Hold on to the roof. It's one of the best calls of all time.
There's two moments I think Yankee Stadium has ever been louder. The Mattingly home run against Seattle in the wild card,
'96 World Series,
and the Girardi triple.
I do. Oh
my goodness, dude!
See, I know my history, and I've also watched
it, dude. You know it.
In kindergarten, I remember we had to pick a what fake helmet we wanted to put on the stuffed animal bear, and I put the Yankee helmet on. So I've been a Yankee fan. Like I knew, I was aware of the Subway Series in 2000, but I can't sit here and act like I was living and dying with it. It's a shame. Missed out on 4 championships.
Yeah. But hey, you got 2009. Listen, you had Robbie Cano, Jeter. You had some homegrown guys.
I wore my 2009 A-Rod jersey at the game yesterday, Robbie. You can't see it in the photo here, but it has the World Series patch on it, all that good stuff.
Nice. You know what's funny about A-Rod? He was so up and down in the playoffs. He was weird. Like he just couldn't breathe in the playoffs until the news broke about his PED usage. And at the time I felt like, man, even though it sucks for him, because it stains him and it stains his name, it allows him to take a deep breath. And then he plays it. Then it happened right before 2009 and played well. So it was kind of a curse and a blessing in my mind for that stuff to leak out.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Beastbreaker writes in, I'm a man's man in full power mode and washing bed sheets. Robbie, your thoughts?
Beastbreaker is the perfect candidate for old heads. Help me out. Asmaniac old heads. No Ma'am. Was it No Ma'am? The Al Bundy and Griff support group in Married with Children. Beastbreaker. I could just envision Beastbreaker in that group. No Ma'am. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it.
Talking with Robby Sabo. Anything Jet related you guys want to ask is on the table. We got our raffle coming up. We also have a Don Maynard giveaway at the end of the show, a little daily raffle to kick off a new week. As far as what this offense will look like ultimately, we know they're going to want to run the ball, but teams say that and then they get away from it when it doesn't work. The Jets almost have to be like stubborn to a fault here. Like, even if it's not working, you can't shy away from it, because their only way of being able to, I think, succeed offensively is to find some sort of way to be one of the better rushing teams in the league. Because I just don't believe in Fields as a passer. I got to see it to really buy fully in. And I also don't love the weapons after Garrett Wilson. I know Mason Taylor's got some upside. I'm excited about what he can maybe be, but I'm not in love with Josh Reynolds. I'm not in love with Allen Lazard. And you go down the line, they need to find a way, and this is really on Engstrand too, to be very creative with how they're scheming guys open in the run game.
Yeah, and I think we touched on it last week. You said you don't have any faith in Fields' passing ability.
Not to be a guy, if he has to throw, like, what's okay, let me ask you this. In games he has to throw 30 times or more, what percentage of the time do you think the Jets will have won that game?
They'll be in trouble, 100%.
That's my issue. Yes,
and I agree with you. And here's the good news. I think the Jets agree with you too, because we hear it from them. We see what they're trying to do offensively, and I think you'd have to have your head examined to grab Fields, sign him, make him your guy with little to no competition, and then throw him into a balanced offense. It's stupid. So make an offense to tailor to what he does best. That's not to say you're not going to try to work on the stuff he needs worked on in terms of 5 to 7 step drops and processing and all that good stuff. But he has the capability. But the right plan of attack is to mold an offense, like Louis Riddick said, like we've been saying for months, like Baltimore, like Washington, like Philly, because it works in today's NFL. Get off to a good start, get it humming, and then you could expand from there. That's what Ben Johnson did in Detroit. When he took over, it wasn't, the crazy elaborate stuff we see today. It was really workmanlike. It was really lunch pail. And then once the O-line started getting better, once they started figuring out who they are, they added and added and added and added. And that's what the Jets are going to try to do with Fields.
What are your thoughts on Woody Johnson buying a stake in Crystal Palace? You had Frankie V on Gangs All Here with the New York Post, worried that this could mean Woody's going to try and move the team to London.
That moving the team. Listen, it's can you imagine? I understand the allure, but it just ain't gonna happen. You can't do that. And it like, say worst case scenario happens, and Woody envisions that this should happen, and he wants to do this. Does anyone see the owners going along with it in Goodell? As opposed to a different plan of attack, a different franchise, or an expansion franchise? See, even if he wants to do it, which I'm not saying he does, it won't happen. They're too smart for that. So no, it'll never happen.
Yeah, I'm not exactly buying it. Now, I guess Frankie's point was, well, Woody loves London and he was the ambassador there.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I didn't see the segment. I'll check it out. And maybe Frankie's just, showcasing the fear, which I get it. And listen, you're doing a podcast. That's a hell of an angle, a hell of a narrative to bring up, no question. Yeah, Woody loves London, sure. And in theory, the franchise who moves to London and does that stuff, Jacksonville's been flirting, we'll get rewarded by the NFL. No question. That comes with it. But it ain't gonna be the Jets. It ain't gonna be a New York market.
No. Not with the history the Jets have. You're not moving a team out of New York.
You're not moving a New York market. No effing way. This is the NFL. Two teams, one team is not even close to enough. There would be another one coming in. So no, it's just not going to happen. Even in the worst case scenario, even if he wants to, I just see the NFL stepping in and saying, no way. There's a better way to do this.
Now, it's interesting because the other take
that Frankie had on the podcast that I disagreed with is, oh, he doesn't like Woody, spending his time on things that aren't related to the Jets. But I'm thinking to myself, wasn't the biggest criticism of Woody Johnson that he was too involved? So
yeah.
If he wants to buy part of a soccer team and spend some time in London attending their games, great. Just let Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji do their thing. I have no issue with this at all. I mean, plenty of owners have other investments in a bunch of different things, including other sports teams. Well, this is not new what Woody Johnson's doing here.
I think the distinction is Goodell doesn't like Woody doing other things in the controversial political bucket. Other things, another sports team, no problem. He's got plenty of people to run it. Christopher's there. There's a solid foundation, but controversial, political, trying to stay away from that, I think, is the distinction there.
This was the commentary on the last part I asked you about, the idea of Woody Johnson, not necessarily being all in on the Jets because he bought part of a soccer team.
My issue with this is the Jets right now are in a big transition. We're off of this Aaron Rodgers thing. Crap's kind of hitting the fan a little bit, right? Like, Woody Johnson's got to get this team right. Ryan, this team's in a very, I don't think we realize the spot the Jets are in. We're at rock bottom, like we've been saying. We were saying in our post games, we've hit rock bottom, Ryan. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
You see how hot it is outside? It really feels like rock bottom right now. We need to figure out a way to take our best our best steps forward and get this franchise breathing again. Get them above water. This team does not have the luxury to have an owner thinking about doing things in other cities, in other countries with other teams. He has to get this right. Why is he doing this now? It could have been a favor, but the timing, you got a lot on your plate here, Woody. If you care that much about the Jets, I mean, time is money, right? Maybe not to these people, but I'm just saying they got to figure this thing out, right? This isn't a great time. I didn't like this news. A lot of Jet fans kind of scoffed over it. I didn't. I thought it was a big deal. I really did, for a lot of reasons.
Is it a big deal? For a lot of reasons.
Well, first of all, let's take a step back and define what are we talking about? Are we talking about the organizational operations and business, or are we talking about play on the field? It's, again, we got to get specific here. And if Frankie's talking about playing the field, go for it, Woody. Dude, as long as you have the right coaching and as long as Aaron Glenn's the real deal and Muji knows what he's doing, do your thing. Do your thing with the Crystal Palace, whatever's fine. If the coaching is right and you hired the right guys, then I think what Frankie's alluding to, the play on the field, is in good hands. If he's talking about our business operations, which I don't think he is, then okay, I get it. If you think Woody's absence is going to hurt them, then there's your argument. But listen, if Aaron Glenn's the real deal, I think that's all that fans need to worry about.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Actual breaking football news. Adam Schefter reporting Jalen Ramsey has been traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's no longer in the Jets division. He leaves the Dolphins. But now he goes to the Steelers, who, of course, take on the Jets week 1. So potentially a Garrett Wilson versus Jalen Ramsey matchup in week 1 of the season. Garrett, by the way, torched Jalen Ramsey last season when they played. Here are the details of the trade. Ramsey will get a $1.5 million raise, bringing his 2025 compensation up to $26.6 million. Schefter doesn't have the trade details yet, so hold on. He just gave us the money because this is clearly coming from Ramsey's agent. We'll spill the beans on how that works. Let's see. This I love it. This is all coming from the agent. Let's see if Rappaport has it or he's just getting it from whoever Ramsey's agent is too.
I can't get the Garrett Wilson putting Ramsey on skates last year out of my head. Like, I'm sometimes, fans think I'm sometimes too hard on Garrett for his dancing and not, going straight north-south, and Brees has the same issue. But dude, in that game, oh my God, Ramsey's socks are still on the field near midfield somewhere based on what Garrett did to him.
Torched him. No trade compensation just yet on this because we only have the agent side of this. So Ramsey gets his contract slightly adjusted. The Rams and Steelers were the two main teams involved in a trade for Ramsey. In the end, Pittsburgh lands him. So the Steelers have kind of been like what the Jets were a year ago, right? They added a bunch of like veterans to try and like go for it. They added DK Metcalf. They of course added Aaron Rodgers, and now they add Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, and it's a pattern, but it's not a pattern that's just limited to the Rodgers Steelers and Rodgers Jets. It's sort of the way the salary cap goes. If you're, pedal to the metal, then you're gonna bring some guys like Washington. They're old right now. It's looking like, I haven't seen the numbers, but they're a little more interesting to me. Like Steelers, you could understand it. Washington's a little eyebrow raising the way they're going.
Hot take: Jets finish with a better record than the Miami Dolphins.
I'm with it. Unless Tua gets hurt, and then we're talking Jeff Hostetler taking over. Finn's backup quarterback winning a chip. That route.
Jalen Ramsey has not been Jalen Ramsey in a couple of years, by the way. This is more of a name more than like this great player still at the stage of his career.
Yeah, but the Miami's backup quarterback will make him better.
He got married over the weekend.
No, really?
Yeah, congrats to Zach Wilson. He finally scored in New York.
Big boy move.
Dun.
Big boy moves. Hey, listen, I'm sure he gets his business done off the field. I'm sure of it.
Zach Wilson, maybe not the best quarterback, but he's had no problems, to quote Charles Gorman, finding lovely ladies.
How is Gorman doing with the ladies these days, by the way?
I
haven't had an update.
Don't even focus on that. The question should be, how is Gorman doing trying to get a job? The ladies will come if the man has employment. That's the key.
The two could mingle together, those two categories in a way, possibly.
You could meet someone at work, yeah.
I
just hope Gorman wouldn't get me too. I'd be a little worried.
We need to shut down the internet if that happens.
Are you interested in potentially playing some Gorman bingo if he calls in during one of your appearances?
Is this a real thing, or are you toying with me?
Do you think I'd mess with you?
How do I answer that?
Here's your Charles Gorman bingo card. Look at your screen. You'll see it for yourself.
Was it? How's your daddy? Oh, no, how's your family? Okay.
Can I get that as an isolated drop of Robby?
Who is your daddy and what does he do? And mentions in his father gets angry. Gorman never gets angry, does it?
Oh, I've seen him angry. Yeah.
Comic book reference. What's his favorite comic book?
All of them.
Choose food. Gorman doesn't eat, does he?
Does he eat? I mean, these farts got to be emulating from somewhere.
I thought he was just filled with natural juices.
Every time he calls in, he's either at a Friendly's, at the REO diner, the latest Costco hot dog is being slurped on.
Costco has hot dogs? I didn't need to know that.
Oh, they have massive hot dogs, gigantic wieners.
He's a swear guy too. He's a cursing sailor, man.
Correct.
Gorman, you're a unique fella. Let me say.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robby Sabo is officially in on Charles Gorman Bingo. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line, do a couple super chats here, then we'll finish with some calls for Robby, and then we'll spin the wheel champions, baby. I got a signed Sauce jersey to give away this morning. I have a signed Justin Fields jersey to give away this morning, and a signed Aaron Glenn jersey to give away this morning. And then daily raffle, end of the show, giving away a signed Don Maynard photo to kick off Mount Rushmore week on the Jake Asman Show. Chris with a super chat for us. How concerned should I be for Jermaine Johnson coming back from the Achilles, considering his bull rush style of play?
Well, concerned overall, I wouldn't be too concerned overall. I would just temper expectations. Like if you're expecting him to have a Pro Bowl season, then yeah, you should be concerned. I would just temper expectations for this season. This is going to be the rehab season.
Dan, the Jet fan, says, remember that one touchdown Rodgers scored when he juked Ramsey? He being Garrett Wilson. Yeah, that's the play that comes to mind.
Yeah, around midfield, right? 40-yard line, somewhere around there.
I think Garrett actually stepped out. He didn't score on that play, but it was a huge game.
He didn't score.
Yeah, I mean, Ramsey, look, obviously phenomenal player in his prime, but he's not what he was.
And think about that Garrett move. It was efficient. One cut, go. Like, no dancing. That's the stuff, man. He could be unbelievable if he gets back to that. And I get it, dude. When you're Brees and Garrett and you're losing and your team's struggling, you want to do too much. And you want to do everything you can and hit a home run on every play. And, that's part of the mental aspect. Some of these weapons have to get used to under the new regime. You got to do your job. Get the 3 yards or 4 yards instead of, no gain on certain situations. It's all about the situation.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get to some calls, shall we? First up today on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline is none other than the great Kyle Clifton.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we hear you, Mr. Clifton.
What'd you say?
So Jalen Ramsey, yes, not quite the player that he used to be, but still kind of the best that they had. And I think their defense is really going through some changes. Their offense should be able to put up points, but they've been weakened in the defensive run game and in the defensive pass game now. I feel like they're going to have to play track meets against teams in order to beat them, the Dolphins.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting trade. Obviously Ramsey, not the player he was, still matching up against the other teams, number one, sometimes getting beat because of, younger, more skilled at this point players. But I think this is a good development for the Jets nonetheless. And the other thing about Louis Riddick is he's not wrong. There's a lot of studs on this team. It's going to come down to coaching. Can we get the run game schemed up? Because, Yo Holmes is making the point, well, Brees was better when Zach Wilson was here. Well, the scheme was better. The running game overall was better.
Yes. LaFleur knew what he was.
Yes.
Was Yo Holmes a LaFleur fan?
I don't know.
LaFleur knew what he was doing, guys. I felt like a man on an island back in the day. It's
and that's even with having young players that didn't quite grasp the scheme.
Yes,
right?
Yeah, they were young pups for sure.
Yeah, but I feel like now these guys have been in the league a little bit. If they're serious about their craft and they're serious about winning, and they can kind of take to what Glenn and Engstrand and Hayden are kind of laying down, we could have something. Let's see if they can run the ball. If they can run the ball, I feel like the sky's the limit. And I've kind of felt that way since they brought in Fields, and they started kind of leaning towards the way of bolstering the run game, whether it be Membu or Taylor, or acquiring players they're going to help them in the run game right away. I appreciate your time, guys.
Kyle, appreciate you making the call. Good job with your first one of the week. I agree with everything you said there about the running game, because think about it. If they're running the ball effectively, that means the line is what it should be.
Yeah,
and if
and
you
by
have
the
a good
way,
offensive line, find me teams that are god-awful if their offensive line is very good.
Yeah, and by the way, Yo Holmes is talking about Brees being better, under Zach Wilson as opposed to. You're just gonna ignore the injury. Like, if you look at the film, pre-injury and after injury with Brees, it is drastically different. And there's something mentally going on where he just, on certain plays, he's not hitting the hole. He's not reckless abandon when he needs to be. And you saw the coaching, even though I get on the coaching under Saleh, that they were working. It was such a transparent, obvious thing that you could see him trying to right that ship on his first carry the next game every time. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's they like Louis Riddick said, and they do have studs up front. They do.
It's the ASMANIAC Membership Raffle. For every membership gifted, you receive 1 ticket entered in the raffle to win epic prizes.
Jess has gifted 5 channel memberships. Shout out to Jess. She only recently learned how to gift a membership. You got to be on a laptop or desktop, hit that money sign, and instead of the super chat button, you hit gift a membership. Thank you to Jess for her generosity. Tyrone Garcia is a member. John, Jets Runny, Juice De Niro, all receiving a channel membership there from Jess. Shout out to the 4 percenters. They were well represented yesterday in the Bronx at our AsManiac meetup. Big Loyal with a super chat. Breece Hall will be the most utilized running back this year. If he stays healthy, I mean, Breece is talking about having 1,000 yard rushing, 1,000 yards receiving. I think it's only happened 3 times total in NFL history, but one of the guys that did it was Christian McCaffrey in 2019. And I have said for the last couple of years, the way McCaffrey's utilized is how Breece should be utilized. They have very similar skill sets.
And what does that tell you that Breece is talking about both? That means the intention is there, like we've been discussing. So, yeah, it's a good comment. He could be one of the more utilized backs this year. And the rushing part of it might be complimentary, as crazy as that sounds.
Super chat from Skills Baby. It's an Asmaniac super chat. He says, Robbie, where's the evidence Rodgers actually helped the run game?
My eyes watching the film. Like, if you want to go through the film with me, we could do it. And I'll show you spots where they were running weak side, and the weak side was loaded defensively, and he flipped it to the right side. Other analysts have even pointed it out. I mean, it's very easy to spot.
I think people are confusing your point. Your point is not that they were good at running the football last year.
Who says they were good? Yeah, who says they were good? My point is, it's scary. He actually was a positive for the run game. They would have been worse with a different quarterback who couldn't read the defense.
You're saying there were examples where he got them out of plays and the play was more successful because he identified something that previous Jet quarterbacks didn't. And even when they had maybe the right look at something, they just sucked schematically. So it didn't matter if they were in the right setup if they couldn't block it up front.
Yeah, or they came out with a run on first down and he saw a loaded box with 8 in the box, and he changed it to a pass instead of no gain or 1 yard carry. It's a no run. So yes, a guy who could read the defense pre-snap is going to help it. The reason they were so crappy was the terrible coaching and the deficits. The Jets defense was one of the major detractors to the Jets rush game last year, other than the coaching and having no idea. So Rodgers, the point is, who is saying they were good at rushing the ball last year? Nobody. Saying that Rodgers helped them, it just means that you're, not the dead last awful worst rushing offense of the century, and you're just a little better than that, which means you're still pretty damn awful.
Let's get to more calls. South End is on the line. Hello, South End.
Yo, can you hear me?
Well, we hear you. Nice bucket hat.
Yeah. Going on, bro? Cleaning a car, cleaning a Tesla right now.
Is that a big project, or what's your cleanup car day like? Is it a big project or no?
I usually do 2 full details a day. So I travel to the people's houses and do full interior, full exterior. I got a trailer I pull around with the generator.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
What happened?
South S, stay right there. We will come right back to you. But this is actually a huge trade now. Here are the details of the trade. Jalen Ramsey is being traded for Minkah Fitzpatrick. So we have a rare player for player trade.
So Minkah goes back.
Minkah goes back to the Dolphins, where he started his career. Wow.
Who did Pitt? Did Pitt grab a safety that I'm not thinking about right now?
Pitt they have Joey Porter, Joey's a corner. So Deshaun Elliott, they signed Brandon Eccles, Beanie Bishop Jr., Juan Thornhill. I mean, they have Darius Slay. So the Steelers secondary now without Minkah still has Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Joey Porter Jr., Deshaun Elliott, Brandon Eccles, Beanie Bishop Jr., and Juan Thornhill.
Oh, geez. I mean,
It's
It
deep.
feels like they have so many more corners than safeties.
Yeah, that's kind of wild that they traded Minka.
Yeah.
What was Minka's contract situation? Was he up for a new deal or something? Is that why they?
He is getting up there in age, no question.
I don't know if the Steelers got better from this trade. I don't know. I don't know enough about their roster and what their strengths and weaknesses were.
That's my first thought is like, did they draft a safety that they really love? I mean, yeah, this is an interesting one. Unless they're moving a corner to safety that we don't know about yet.
Like my first reaction when we didn't know Minka was in the deal was the Dolphins got worse, even if Ramsey's not what he was, right? Yeah. But Minka is a really good player, to my knowledge, still. Like, I don't think he had a bad season last year. Pittsburgh still had a really good defense.
Yeah, and, safety is one of those positions where even as you get older, he's only 28 still. It's old for football, but safety is one of those rare positions where you could get older and still impact the game. The Notre Dame kid in Minnesota, Harrison. There's a lot of examples of that. I'm not saying Minka can be or will be that for a long time, but he has a chance to be. I always thought Revis was going to be, when he was playing corner, I always thought he was going to transition to safety because he could tackle. He was tough. But he just lost too much of his range. He just couldn't do it.
Interesting. So we'll see if we get more details on this trade here, but
got it.
Rare
Pitt's
trade
plan? Yeah, I don't get it.
Player for player trade, I should say. Like we've seen trades, obviously that happens all the time, but football, very rarely do you see the player.
Miami needed a safety too. I mean, let me see.
Who's moving the safety for Pittsburgh now? Then
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Miami desperately needed one. You lose in Holland. So, they have Ashton Davis. That's right.
The great Ashton Davis.
I always liked Ashton. He does things the right way. Athlete, definite athlete, had potential. But just like I said, safety is one of those positions where you could age gracefully and still be a positive, even if you lose your fastball. You also have to, either you have it or you don't in your brain in terms of being around the football, a sense for things, leadership, moving guys around. It's such a leadership-filled position.
Black Gypsy says, let's hope Fields can read a defense this year.
He can read defenses. He absolutely can. It's just a matter of, I think his biggest issue when you're asking him to, just run a standard 5 to 7 step drop is the inkling to always want to use his legs. Like I mentioned before, football, yeah, it's a big strategy thing, but you want to know who you are to fall back on what you do well. Your bread and butter. Fields' bread and butter is running the ball. And everything in his brain is saying, go, 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 take off, take off, take off. And I think that's the thing that holds him back sometimes in getting things done in the 5 to 7 step drop, intermediate to longer developing concepts. But I don't think it's reading the defense. I think it's that he's got to find a way to try to get that element out of his head when the situation calls.
Now, give me money, or I shoot him, and I shoot all you motherfuckers, and then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Eli Betts coming through for the people. 10 people just became channel members. Eli just entered our Don Maynard signed photo raffle for 10. J-Boy, Jose Lopez, Dean, Gary the Snail, Sal Pizzuto, Craig M., Keith Parcells, Eric Rivera, New York Nick, and everyone's favorite username, the P-Word Assassin.
Whoa. P-Word Assassin?
That's right.
What does that mean?
The P-Word Assassin.
I'll Google it.
He's back, baby. P-Word Assassin. It's a family show, Robbie. I can't say his actual name.
I didn't even know. I thought it was like
Pussycat without the P.
My dad's name is Pete.
Actually, I said that wrong. Damn, I ruined my old radio bit. His name is Pussycat Assassin without the cat.
Yeah, you kind of dump that.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you understand that?
Don't
screw
dump
it up.
that GD. Dump that GD.
It's Monday, man. It's Monday.
Yeah.
It's my first of 7 hours of broadcasting today.
Oh yeah.
I used to say that on the radio.
Yeah, and I'm not doing any favors by trying to wake you up on this morning. I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, wake up. Now, you know what? You want to wake up? Ladies and gentlemen, everyone knows who we need to bring on.
Beastbreaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass. And then he's gabagoo.
In Germany, they say Guten Morgen. In Mexico, they say Hola. In the United States, we say hello to all.
Hello.
And also, in Poland, they also say Dzień dobry. That's also in Poland as well.
How long did it take for you to learn that
Yeah,
stuff?
I've been a very busy man since 7:30 this morning. Fresh bed sheets this morning. Fresh, all off the market.
Any zebra stains on there? Any stripes?
2 words or 1 word. No.
How do you spell that?
N-O. And I use fresh Arm & Hammer, my friends. Arm & Hammer detergent, the best.
Right.
The best.
Is it gel or?
Hell, yes, it is the gel. I get it. I get the best one. $13.99 only. The powdered version is $16.99. See,
Deodorant's $13 these days? For real?
Up here, gotta watch. Spend your money wisely, kids. Justin Fields will be fine this season. All he's got to do is pay attention, watch, learn, listen, pay attention, and read those defenses quickly, because if you don't, this is what will happen to you. Wow! Like a freight train coming at you at your full speed ahead. Just remember, don't sing it, just bring it. Next question. Move along. Move along.
Well, hold on a second, Beast.
Money train. Money train.
I just had a question on the threat that you made to me over the weekend. I was unclear.
I had to put my
threat? What threat?
I had to put my foot down. My foot was on fire.
Is he becoming Sergeant Slaughter?
I don't know. I received this email on Saturday. It says, you got 24 hours after the Yankees game. Get rid of that stupid Harry Potter shit. It gone too far and over the line. And one of 2 choices. 1, no more of this Harry Potter bullshit or the AI video nonsense. Put it in trash. Or 2, I'm not coming on show anymore. I had enough of it. Gone too far and out of order. I mean it. I'm not joking this time. Is permanent. Big time. I'm not kidding. That's an order. The enforcer. P.S.
That's an order.
You got 24 hours to remove all that Harry Potter trash and the stupid AI shit. Got it. Now, when did the 24 hours start, and what happens when I get hacked by 6 rings?
All I had to do was put it in full drive. See, like Sergeant Slaughter once said, you want to play fire? You got 24 hours to think about it. You know, that is an order, and I mean an order.
Beast turned into Jack Bauer all of a sudden. 24 hours.
Try Sergeant
For
Slaughter.
as long as I can remember. Ever since I was a little boy, it was my dream to go to Hogwarts. People always told me, Beast, you're not a wizard. You don't know magic. But I said, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway.
I got hacked again, Beast. Does it restart the 24 hours?
It's over.
How does that work?
Pew, pew, pew. Abracadoodle. Got a plan?
Damn it, 6
Think
rings.
I look like I'm playing?
Damn it,
Play
6
game
rings.
anymore. Now you're playing.
Help me. Roby-1 Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Damn,
Wrong dog in the yard.
He has complete control over the show right now. I can't play anything.
Beast.
6 rings. Stop. God, my ears hurt.
Yeah, dude,
I know what to do.
He's hacking me again.
Your transformation into Sergeant Slaughter in Desert Storm area is complete.
Okay, where's those headphones of mine? Sons of bitches. I'm not gonna say it's one time. And if 6 rings wants to fight, you get into the steel cage at my expense. And you will pay and you will die at the hands of my feet. Remember, die by my hand. Come cross the land.
Abracadadoodle.
Stop it, Six Rings. Enough. He doesn't want to play it. We laid down the law. Stop it.
Six rings. Do you know who you're playing with? I like to see you play with the Call of Cthulhu, or
what'd you say?
play with Creeping Death, because, like I said, I'm going to be the man that's going to take you out, like in the song Creeping Death from Metallica's "Ride the Lightning."
How did he hack
Don't
me?
think I won't kill you. Hey, I'm old school. I play hard and I play fair.
Abracadadoodle.
No racial
Stop.
bigotry here.
Stop
There's going to be no racial bigotry here. I do not look down on scum, slime.
For as long as I can remember. Ever since I was a little boy, it was my dream to go to Hogwarts. People always told me, Beast, you're not a wizard. You don't know magic. But I said, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway.
You want to play?
God, where?
How
does he?
I've gotten nice enough.
Where is he getting this from?
See this here, Six Rings?
Man boobs.
You see this here, six
Or the
rings?
bat.
You see this here, you son of a bitch?
You ever see Big
This is
Lebowski when he smashes up
this is
the
your
car?
riding crop. This is going to be your Sergeant Slaughter riding crop when I kick your ass. Now just remember, that's in order.
Now, Beast, to be clear, obviously I'm being hacked right now, but in general, when you sent me the email to lay down the law, is it 24 hours from your time zone or my time zone from when the Yankee game ended yesterday?
It's double the pleasure, triple the fun.
Okay.
Game over, Six Rings. Come out and
Abracadadoodle.
come out, Six Rings. Come out. Get your yellow pussy ass out here.
Help me. Robby Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Said the P word.
I don't play Six Rings. Get your ass out here and come fight me like a man. Or I'll send you some yellow panties and I'll chase your ass all the way back to Canada with your pink stripes up your ass.
Does Six Rings wear pink lady shoes, Beast?
High heels. Yeah, high stilettos, 4-inch.
Hey, Beast, can you put your light on? It's a little dark in the attic.
It's called GSH, Global Studio Headquarters. The Greek flag. That's heritage. Polish. I grew up with that because back in the day, this used to be a German Polish neighborhood. Now it's a different.
Abracadadoodle.
Were you wearing that?
Six Rings.
Stop it.
This is not a game, Six Rings.
Were you actually wearing that Obi-Wan Kenobi get up or
Hell
no?
no.
Was that AI?
No.
You mean
This ain't a
Princess
game,
Leia?
Six Rings. This
Princess
is a
Leia.
war. I'm
Yeah,
already
he's-
preparing to call for war.
He's Princess
If you wanna
Leia
go
in
double
A
green,
New
double
Hope.
kill.
Help me. Robby Kenobi. You're my only hope.
I didn't notice the Leia
I
hair
mean it,
the
I mean it,
first
Six
couple
Rings.
times.
Get your pink panty ass out here, and I'll make sure when you have them brown stains, when I'm done with you, you're gonna have them brown stains in your shorts called tobacco, and I'll chase your ass back up to Canada, and you can have your communist nonsense. Because here in the USA, Jack, we are the United States of America. We are proud of the red, the white, and the blue. We're not gonna take your Canadian this, Canadian that. Hey.
Oh, he's a
This is
Canadian.
America.
Help me. Robby Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Canadian, huh?
I'm sorry to tell you, this version right here is the 1977 version. That's the CBS Fox version. I have the videotape of that on videotape.
God,
Yes,
Six Rings is relentless. I can't even like.
He's
I
a
can't even-
pussy.
He deleted all my clips.
You
He's
said
a
the P
pussy.
word.
I only have 3 clips to play.
For as long as I can remember. Ever since I was a little boy, it was my dream to go to Hogwarts. People always told me, Beast, you're not a wizard. You don't know magic. But I said, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway.
God.
Keep it up, Six Rings. You're asking for it, buddy boy. I know where to get a gravestone, and I sure as hell can build you a nice 6-foot grave. And your
I'm surprised I
casket.
haven't seen a Samwell Tully. Is that what his name was in Game of Thrones? Samwell? That's another one.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Don't give 6 rings ideas, though.
I was just curious. It wasn't for 6 rings.
Where's the cheeks, the ram of all, cock and fucking ass? From the great Spartacus. From Spartacus. I've heard Spartacus. Spartacus is on Stars. Check it out.
What do you think? What do you think we should do about this 6 rings thing, Beast? How do we get him back?
Tell him get his pussy ass in here and get in the cage with me because I will kick his ass all over the place. And after I'm done with him, he's going to have a nice belting and a nice ass whooping because it's going to hurt 10 times worse. That's going to hurt everybody else.
Yeah, Beast,
it's not a game anymore. Game over, 6 rings. Either man up or get your yellow, cheesy, weaky Canadian ass out of my hole.
He just put us in the hole. Beast, he just put us in the hole.
Hey, tell everybody yell out the word pussy to him because that's what he is.
P-word.
For as long as I can remember, ever since I was a little boy, it was my dream to go to Hogwarts. People always told me, Beast, you're not a wizard. You don't know magic. But I said, I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. And guess what? So what did I do? I grabbed the nearest wand and started flinging it around. Pew, pew, pew. Abracadadoodle. Now nobody disrespects me because I'm a proud graduate of Hogwarts. And listen up, 6 rings. Keep talking and I get a spell for you behind the 7-Eleven.
That last one takes the cake.
God. Well, I took Beast off. It let me do that. And then all of a sudden I have control again. So I don't know if I could go back to Beast without the fear of 6 rings hacking us again.
You better be careful. If you're getting hacked, it's you need a firewall or something. You better call it YouTube because you can get bombed in certain ways, and channel would be in not good standing. Let me just say that.
Right. Also, I love Matthew says, "Okay, Jake, back to football, please." I mean, did you watch the first 55 minutes of the show? It's June 30th, guy. Come on.
Listen,
you can't make everyone happy.
Listen. The Beastbreaker segment, it does a lot for brains in this world, so it's not for nothing. We'll leave it at that.
Robby, excellent job. Appreciate you hopping on a day earlier. I'm filling in for Michael K tomorrow from 1 to 3. And I knew if I left you at 10, you wouldn't show up till like 10:45, and I got to be at the studio early, so it was just easier to do it on Monday,
Yeah, I've been waiting for 6 days, so I'm glad we're here. What's K's time slot now? 12 to 2? What is he doing?
1 to 3.
1 to 3. Okay. Yeah, they broke up. They've been broken up for a while now, right? LaGreca and K.
The new afternoon show started in January.
And it's
end of December, January.
Is it LaGreca, Rosenberg, and Hahn?
Correct. Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Although Peter's off the entire month of July, so it's just gonna be a lot of Don and Hahn.
Peter's very polarizing, so there's some fans who I'm sure who aren't sad by that. But that's a radio host for you. That's where you want to be.
That's what Beastbreaker is to everyone but Matthew.
There, Princess Light. I can't wait for the Stanwell Tarley comment. And yes, thank you for correcting me, guys. I said Tully. It's been a while, folks. Game of Thrones, man. That was an epic show back in the day.
Until the last season, they ruined it.
Oh, they just rushed it. There was no reason not to go, a few more seasons and play it out the right way, but ran out of material and they were on their own.
Sucks. But I'll tell you what doesn't suck, folks. JetsXFactory.com, Robby Sabo's site. Check it out. We love it. There's nothing like it. And Robby's the go-to for all the content that originates there. Him, Nadia, Joe Blewett. We got Nick Faria writing, Connor Long. You guys have a good team. So definitely check it out if you're a Jet fan, because there's always stuff on there each and every day, even when it's a little slow right now on the final day of June.
Yep. I'm going to have conceptualizing Aaron Glenn's secondary up soon. Not just who's going to play where, but, different packages and what he likes to do with his nickel package. There's going to be some good stuff there, so watch out for it.
Love it. He's Robby Sabo. My name is Jake Asman. Robby joining us in his weekly spot. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right, folks, let's do the raffle, shall we? I have in front of me the Wheel of Champions from everyone who entered our weekly raffle from the past week. So it's time to spin that wheel and figure out who's winning our 3 signed items.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly ASMANIAC Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which ASMANIAC is winning an epic prize.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Music, please. What you see on the screen is the list of all the names. Remember, this is the first raffle we've done where if you call into the show, you earn a raffle ticket, which is outstanding. A way to reward everyone who makes this show the show, the AsManiacs. So, I've hit the shuffle button a million times, but I'll do it again for everyone watching. Names have been shuffled. Good luck to everyone. A reminder, we got 3 items to give away. Our first item is a signed Aaron Glenn jersey. And just a quick heads up, if you win, please reach out to me either on the Discord if you're a Patreon member or via email, AsmanJake@gmail.com, and let me know where to send your winning item. Here we go. Wheels being spun. The winner of the signed Aaron Glenn jersey is listener Kyle Clifton. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton's been on quite the roll in these raffles. That's awesome. Congratulations to Kyle. He is the first winner on the day. Just a quick heads up, for those new to the show, you can only win once during any of these raffles, weekly raffles, right? You can obviously win multiple times, just can't be in the same raffle. Ladies and gentlemen, our second item that we will be giving away is a Justin Fields signed jersey. This is the signed Glenn jersey that Kyle won. Here's the Fields jersey, and we'll find out who's going to get that right now. Put the wheel back up, and let's spin it. Fields jersey goes to listener Dylan Terraman. Hey, I love it. Dylan deserves this, man. He's a great guest every week. He's truly in the community. That's an awesome, awesome person to get this jersey here. DT winning the JF jersey. Awesome. Dylan might be in the chat still. I know he always watches the show when he's at his actual job. He is in the chat. LFG. He just wrote in. Love that. Dylan, congrats, man. Buy the frame. Hopefully the Fields jersey lasts longer than just a year for you. All right. Let's remove Dylan's names from the entries. Still got a bunch of you in here. Ladies and gentlemen, one last item to give out, a signed Sauce Gardner jersey. Make sure you stick around because we're going to be giving away a signed Don Maynard photo for anyone who entered our raffle during this show. Ladies and gentlemen, spin the wheel. The Sauce Gardner jersey goes to listener Jerry Jett. Jerry Jett, look, this is deserved. Jerry Jett won a Fields jersey the other day. Jerry Jett is the guy that, for those who missed the show the last couple days, tattooed the AsManiac logo on his damn body. In addition to Aaron Glenn's, we're the freaking New York Jets. So we're built for this bleep. So, look, I think Jerry Jett deserves it. Someone just wrote, is that the tattoo guy? It is. I thought I had a picture of the tattoo handy here. For those who maybe missed some shows last week, let me see if I can find it. Because it's so crazy. Jerry Jett, here it is. I got it right here for you guys. He just won the Sauce jersey. Congrats to him. The man put the AsManiac logo on his back, so just amazing. Just amazing. Shout out to Jerry Jett. Well deserved. We appreciate his support. Jerry's sister is Mimosa, who's a frequent supporter of the show. She's called in a bunch as well. Here's a up-close look at the tat. So those are the 3 winners. Kyle Clifton, Dylan Terraman, and Jerry Jett. Love that. Again, thank you all who support these raffles. They are a huge help during the slow times, and the more entries we get, the more cool stuff we can continue to give away throughout the season. That was our 30th ASMANIAC Raffle. We started doing these around the holiday time on December 1st. So we'll continue to do them every week, every 7 to 10 days, depending on my broadcast schedule, and give you guys more chances to win signed stuff, including this. We're going to spin the wheel again at the end of the show. A signed Don Maynard photo. I believe this is 8x10. It includes the certificate of authentication. You see the certificate sticker at the bottom right corner there. So signed item by a Jets Hall of Famer is a daily raffle prize at the end of the show. And I promised I would announce the weekly prizes for this week. We're doing a new theme on the show. Last week, we spent a lot of time talking about the Jets all-time Mount Rushmore. So I thought, let's do a Mount Rushmore of Jets themed raffle. So prize number 1, Joe Namath signed helmet. We always get a ton of entries when there's a Namath helmet on the line. A Joe Namath signed helmet, includes certificate of authentication, is our top prize in the weekly raffle. Prize number 2 in our Mount Rushmore weekly raffle. A signed Don Maynard helmet. And this is the old school looking helmet there with the bar that you see on the screen. Also includes Don's Hall of Fame inscription with his normal signature. That's prize 2. Prize 3 is a signed Hall of Fame inscription Joe Klecko helmet. And last but certainly not least, prize number 4 is a signed Darrelle Revis jersey. So I went with the Mount Rushmore the New York Post went with. My personal Mount Rushmore had Curtis Martin on it, but we went with Revis, we went with Klecko, we went with Maynard, and we went with Joe Namath for our top prizes. So thank you to everyone. Gift away, call in over the next week. We'll give you a chance to win any of those 4 items. We're going hard entering July here because, let's be real, if you're watching a Jet show in June and July, you are truly a diehard fan. With that said, I'm going to open up the phone lines. We'll take your calls for the remainder of the show, and then we'll be back at 3:45 p.m. this afternoon, a little earlier than normal because I'm hosting for 3 hours on ESPN Radio tonight. So I have to get done with the second show early so I can get set up to host nationally on radio tonight from 7 to 10. And I'm hosting on ESPN New York tomorrow from 1 to 3, filling in for Michael K. And on Friday, that's July 4th, right? I'm hosting from 10 to 2:30 on ESPN New York. So combination of Carlin and Bart and Kay, they're both off. Those shows are off. I'm in. So a lot of radio this week and a lot of radio, by the way, in July. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Plus, I put the full schedule on my Discord for anyone who is interested. With that said, to your calls, we certainly will go. And first up in this segment is none other than Mr. Rube.
Well, there's a feller they call Charleston Jets Rube, 'cause he calls the show nude, never wears a shirt. And some folks, they don't think he's got pants on either. It's a gosh darn nudist camp. Let's hear it for that Charleston Jets Rube and see if he has any Jets points today.
Hey, Jake, great giveaway. I love it.
Thank you,
buddy.
Mr. Rube, but you wearing clothes is throwing me off here.
Yeah, sorry, I got to run a couple errands before I hit the workout room in the pool. So you'll get the nude Rube later today.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course. Well, we appreciate you. Great giveaway this week. Definitely appreciate that. And I'm guessing Matt is probably a newer viewer because when I first started viewing about, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years ago. How long have you been back from Houston?
I left the radio show, or I got fired, however you want to word it, whatever. But they blew up our radio show when my co-host left in August of that year. So I was going back and forth.
So it's been almost a year.
Fall. Yeah. Well, are you asking when I actually moved out of Houston or when I stopped doing the Houston radio show?
Either or. Basically, my only point is I've been watching probably about 6 months before you left Houston.
Yeah. So so you started watching them probably around like January, February of 2023.
Okay. And the only reason why I ask all this is because Matthew, I'm not going to lie. The first couple shows, I was like, what is all this stuff after the Jets football? But Matthew, you'll end up enjoying it and loving it.
No, Matthew's been around a long time. He's just
Oh, he has.
Yeah,
That's a little surprising. That's a
Yeah.
little surprising.
He's not a fan of Six Rings hacking me, which, to be fair, I'm not either.
Yeah, you know, I can't wait to see during Beast Diatribe there. He mentioned that he was going to kick Six Rings ass with his feet, and then later he said with his hands. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing the feet and the hands in the same time, hopefully.
Amen.
But anyways, I wanted to ask you, because when I called when Ian was on, I never got your opinion. What do you think the odds are that the Jets can have that triple crown of 1,000 yards rushers, which I think we all kind of determined that's probably never happened before?
You're talking about 3 running backs or 2 running backs and a quarterback having 1,000 yards rushing.
I'm talking about Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Justin Fields. Yep.
Garrett,
all having 1,000.
Okay.
And,
So
and
Garrett,
Justin Fields with the rushing. Yep.
I mean, I would say it's pretty low. That would be pretty historic if they're going to have 1,000-yard quarterback, 1,000-yard running back. They haven't had that since 2015 for context. I mean, I think Garrett will have over 1,000 receiving yards. That's the one I'm definitely the most confident in.
Yep. Yep. You know, I think a lot of it boils down to because how much they're going to line Breece Hall up as a wide receiver. And then I also think how much Justin Fields is going to be able to, improve in his throwing and be able to read the defenses. I think that's going to be the biggest contributing factor as far as that's concerned. But, didn't have a lot for you today, Jake. Just wanted to check in with you, say thanks again for everything that you do. And Jerry definitely deserved that jersey. I'm not going to lie. The sauce one was the best one out of all of them, I think, and he deserved to win the best one. So, man, you're an awesome Jet fan and an awesome Asmaniac there, Jerry. But thanks again, Jake, for all that you do. We'll talk to you soon.
Charleston, great call as always, man. Love the positivity. I think it's unlikely what you said happens, but man, how much fun would that be? Look, I think if you're telling me that Fields gets, 700 rushing yards and Breece hits over 1,000, then I think you have a really good offense. Yeah, but maybe you have a top 15 offense in the league. If you tell me they have a 1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard rusher, and the quarterback has about 700 rushing yards, I think it's probably a top 15 offense in my mind. It'd be tough for me to picture it not being that. See, the key with Breece is not even necessarily just his rushing stats, it's his receiving stats as well. Total yards per game. I don't know what the context is, but Black Gypsy just wrote in, Allen, stay out of Florida. We already have enough assholes. I'll tell you what. I don't know what this is, what the context is, but amen.
Allen, go fuck yourself.
6 rings. Good job. That was a good thing to play. Got to be fair. Hit the like button. Reminder, if you call in, you get a raffle ticket. We're going to give this away at the end of the show. Don Maynard signed photo, and congrats to Kyle Clifton, Dylan Terraman, and Jerry Jett on winning our 3 Asmaniac Raffle prizes. Quick PSA. I got new items in the Jake Asman merch store now. We now are selling Jake Asman Show pennants that you can hang. Had a couple people reach out that they wanted something for like their man cave or their place where they watch the show. So we're now selling these Jake Asman Show pennants if you go under the accessory category on my merch store. And we now have Asmaniac and Jake Asman Show flags that are available. Nate will be getting one on the house because he has agreed to put it on his bike and offer free advertising as he rides his bike around New York City. So we're selling these flags now in the merch store, and then we're selling these pennants now as well. So for those interested, jakeasman.com/shop. And if you're a Patreon user, 20% off every item in the store with the code you get when you become a member. All right, open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Another reminder, Don Maynard photo. We're giving this away at the end of the show. Okay. There's something we must address as well. One of our own had an opportunity over the weekend to do some big time things. And he failed. Ladies and gentlemen, this comes to us courtesy of House of Highlights.
Name 4 NBA teams that do not end in the letter S.
Miami Heat.
That's 1.
Orlando Magic.
Magic is 2. Let's go.
Utah Jazz.
Oh my God, he's on a heater.
And there's one more.
There is one more.
Jazz. I said Magic.
5, 4,
Heat. Jazz,
3,
Magic.
2, 1. Get out of here. Comments, help him out.
The Thunder. They just won the championship, Gary. Come on. Oh, what a disgrace. You let us all down, Gary. Bad. What the heck, man? We had an opportunity there, Gary. Could have represented this community on the grandest of stages. Jets Worldwide says you should have pointed up, not down. Pat McAfee's tank top got them cornrows too tight. Cisco at the same time. Those cornrows were too tight. Yo, Holmes, of course, Gary's brain melted. Nate lives up to his nickname, nothing but nets. Unbelievable. Gary, what happened there? Ryan says, oh, I'm getting the pennant. You know, it's not quite a Jets Super Bowl pennant, Ryan, but it will have to do for now. And by the way, I looked online what a Jets Super Bowl pennant cost, and I definitely made sure to make my stuff significantly cheaper than that. John says, Beast can attach the Jake Asman flag to his wand and advertise. John, enough. The man didn't go to Hogwarts. How many times does he have to say it? All right. I'm sure Six Rings is going to hack me again and play the video, but I don't care. Beast has made it clear he didn't go to Hogwarts.
Abracadabra.
Stop. Gator, we got to figure out how to get Six Rings out of here, man. Unbelievable. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. There's currently no one on hold right now, so I will end the show if we don't get a couple callers. We're going to be back this afternoon. Appreciate everyone tuned in. If you want to hear Louis Riddick's commentary on the Jets, we played that with Sabo reacting earlier on in the show. Had some good takes on that. So definitely check that out if you missed it. Also, here's the other thing I wanted to mention. Today is June 30th, which means we update the list of names for everyone on Patreon at the beginning of every month. And that's why I want to remind you guys to join the Patreon if you haven't. Get bonus shows, name added to the countdown ticker, access to exclusive events, discounts at those events as well, 20% off every merch store item, and perhaps the number one perk everyone talks about, the Discord. So check that out. Barbarossa writes in, Jake, you won't believe this, but on the cruise I was on, there was a bounty hunter who knew a Wookiee that knows Obi-Wan Kenobi. I sent a transmission to ask if he wants to come on the show. Damn you, Barbarossa.
Help me. Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
He's hacking me again, Beast. Beast. He put you full screen, Beast.
Name 4 NBA teams that do not end in the letter S.
Miami Heat.
That's 1.
Orlando Magic.
Magic is 2. Let's go.
Utah Jazz.
Oh my God, he's on a heater.
And there's one more.
There is one more.
Jazz. I said Magic.
5, 4,
Heat. Jazz,
3,
Magic.
2, 1. Get out of here. Comments, help him out.
Gary let us down. He really did. All right. We'll get out of here after 90 minutes. Got a lot to prepare for today. So we'll be back this afternoon. Before we go, though, I want to once again thank all the Asmaniacs who made it out to our baseball game meetup for the Yankees game yesterday. Awesome time. Appreciate all of you who dealt with the heat. Thank God our seats were in the shade, which made it a little more tolerable than anyone in the sun. And courtesy of Chef Kevin, I'm going to end the show with a clip from that game. A fun moment from our section. But I promised you guys a raffle. So I got to get the names together. And I got the perfect caller who thankfully just called in to our show to give me some time to put the names together. Ladies and gentlemen, you were asking for his take on it. And here we go.
He's pointing. Gary Box point at you. Gary Box point at you. Gary Box. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Gary Box point at you. I point.
What happened, Gary?
The Thunder, the team that just won the championship 3 days before that. I couldn't think of the Thunder. Wild. It's crazy. Where did you get that? Where did you find that? I meant to ask the guy where he was publishing that, and I forgot. Where did you find that?
Name 4 NBA teams that do not end in the letter S.
Miami Heat.
That's 1.
Orlando Magic.
Magic is 2. Let's go.
Utah Jazz.
Oh my God, he's on a heater.
And there's one more.
There is one more.
Jazz. I said Magic.
5, 4,
Heat. Jazz,
3,
Magic.
2, 1. Get out of here. Comments, help him out.
Where'd you find that? Where'd you guys get that from?
So it was posted on the House of Highlights TikTok account, but I can't take full credit for it. I'm trying to get the listener on the mark 47 tagged me in the video one day ago. I don't regularly check TikTok. I only check it when I post like clips from the show.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I happened to check it though this morning randomly. Otherwise I would not have seen it. And he tagged me in it. And I'm like, and I clicked on it and I go, no way. So that's where I saw it because listener Mark noticed you and tagged me in it. And then I said, Gator, we got to pull this to play because it's so funny.
Shout out to Mark. I got the first 3 quick. I just could not think of the Thunder.
You got the hardest ones out of the way. That's why I thought you definitely were going to get the Thunder because they just won the title.
Seriously, the team that just won was the one it's weird though, right? Because like once you can't get it, I'm just like Suns, Knicks. No, those all end in S. It's just and they got you on a timer, and it's like
it's pressure.
Yeah. All right, it was called House of what was it called?
House of Highlights. They're a
House of Highlights.
A content creator company.
Yeah. Okay. I don't even have TikTok.
Their TikTok account, Gary. Guess how many followers they have?
127.
Keep going.
More or less?
No, I'm just kidding. 30 million.
Shut up. Really?
Did you say 127 million?
No, I said 100. I thought it was this tiny little thing. We just like,
this ain't no tiny little thing. Potentially 30 million people saw you.
So I couldn't get the Thunder. 30 million people think I'm now an idiot. There you go.
How was the draft other than that?
It's not great, Jake.
At least the Nets took 5 players.
It was busy. It wasn't good, Jake. It wasn't good.
It was busy, but it wasn't good. That describes a lot of days in my life, I feel like.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't really have anything else. I was just wondering where y'all got that from.
Well, you're a star, but unfortunately, you didn't get the right answer.
No, I had, yeah. It's whatever. I didn't really win anything, so it doesn't matter. I just don't look like an idiot on
Why'd they pick you, by the way? Take us behind the scenes. How did you get selected for this? The guy just saw you standing there and he just went up to you?
Well, so they were interviewing someone else. I was like half watching it, talking to a Sixers fan. Then me and the Sixers fan were talking about a hypothetical trade. And he said to me, "Hey, do you know ball?" I'm like, "I think so. Sure." And he's like, "All right, come here." And that was that. That's how that went.
Well, I give you credit for stepping up
and striking out.
Takes more than anything else.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I didn't get time to read all the comments, but I do think it'll be funny to read what people said about you. So maybe we'll do that later on.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary 3D.
Name 4 NBA teams that do not end in the letter S.
Miami Heat.
That's 1.
Orlando Magic.
Magic is 2. Let's go.
Utah Jazz.
Oh my God, he's on a heater.
And there's one more.
There is one more.
Jazz. I said Magic.
5, 4,
Heat. Jazz,
3,
Magic.
2, 1. Get out of here. Comments, help him out.
Amazing. All right. That gave me just enough time. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate you actually calling in there. Give me just enough time to reset the wheel of champions because we're spinning it again. A daily raffle. Our prize to kick off Mount Rushmore week on the Jake Asman Show with our raffle theme of Jets greats is a signed Don Maynard photo. Someone's going to win that right here, right now. I am pulling up the Wheel of Champions. You see it on the screen. Now I need music. And it's time to spin. Don Maynard, RIP, number 13, retired number. Here we go. If you win, please reach out with the address where to mail it to. 3, 2, 1. The winner, Rick Kent. Congrats to Rick Kent, who saw Don Maynard play. So I think it's cool that Rick is the winner of this. I think Rick might have already won a Don Maynard helmet in a previous raffle. I know he's won a Namath helmet. So congrats to Rick, longtime supporter of the show. Rick actually is visiting the New York area later this week, so I'm looking forward to catching up with Rick in person. Congrats to Rick. Congrats to our other 3 winners earlier, Kyle Clifton, Dylan Terraman, and Jerry Jett. We got more prizes this week. We got the weekly prizes as well. So thanks again to everyone who supports, because it wouldn't be possible to do these giveaways at the volume we're doing them without the support from the community. So I appreciate that. At the buzzer, just got the email. Cisco Lopez just became a Patreon member. So Cisco, you'll make the countdown ticker when we update the names for the month of July. So thank you for that. On that note, I'm done talking. I promised you a clip from our meetup yesterday. So here's that clip, and I'll talk to you guys if you're watching live at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time. Go Jets, everybody. And thanks again to everyone who came to our meetup yesterday. Go Jazz.
There it is! There it is! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Go home! Turn it! Woo! Let's go! Let's go! Woo! Let's go!
Excuse me.